Everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Chichi's World and I hope you're rolling your world. In today's tutorial video, I'll be sharing with you how to make a basic skirt pattern. Okay, so I'll be drafting the pattern. This is what you use to transfer to your fabric to make your pencil skirts anyhow you want. Like, you can modify it, but this is the basic. Okay, so I'll be sharing with you how to do that. So these are what I'll be using: my tape, my pepper scissors, my ruler, my marker. Please always ensure that you don't use your fabric scissors in cutting your pattern paper. Okay, so let's get right into it. I folded my pattern into two. You can actually make this, you can use just one. You might not even need to fold it into two, but I just wanted to show you, because if you don't fold into two, you will save, of course you save your pattern. Okay, so I just folded into two and start taking my measurement from the folded part. Okay, so this line is the starting point line. That's from where I'll be taking all my measurements from. Okay, so now from the measurements I'll take is the length of the skirts. Now this length I'm using here is just 30 inches. Of course, you can increase or you can shorten your length the way you want it. Okay, so my pattern here, the length here is 30 inches. All right, so if it's a long skirt you are doing, the only thing is just for you to increase the length on your fabric, or if you want to transfer it to a pattern first anyhow. So now the next measurement is from my waist to my hip. That is 7 inches. That's what I'm marking here. Okay, from my waist to my hip. Now you draw your straight line. All right, so that's what I'm drawing here. Okay, so now the next measurement I'll take is quarter of my waist. My waist is 32 inches, round waist. Quarter of it is 8 inches. So that's what I'll mark here. And now remember, I'm going to use 1 inch for my dart. So that's what I'm adding here. So I have a total of 9 inches right there. Okay, so quarter of my hip is 40 inches. Quarter of it is 10 inches. So that's what I'm going to mark here right now. Okay, now one basic thing you need to know for pencil skirt, if you want it to be very penciled, okay, when I get to that point I'll start talking about it. Okay, now at the hem, the same measurements I have at my hip, that's what I'll still bring down, that 10 inches. Now depending on how penciled you want your skirt to be, that's when you now remove. So that marking, that dot I just made there is 10 inches. So I like removing 2 inches, so that place will now be 8 for me. Okay, so it will pencil, it will taper very well. You can go in, you can do your own, you can remove just 1 inch, 1.5. For me, I like coming in by 2 inches, so you can see the curve is showing me there. Now blend this place. All right, I did this off camera, but I'll show you. You can see that my starting point line just come down by 1 inch. Okay, so what that does is that it allows your skirt to sit very well on your waist. All right, so here is my that measurements, 4 inches, 4 inches. Then you mark a straight line to go and meet the hip line. Now from the hip line, come up by 2 inches. That's where your dart is supposed to stop. Remember, it's 1 inch dart that we have. So I'll now take the dart, the two sides here, half inch. Okay, so total of 1 inch. So just connect the line to that place. Remember to come up by 2 inches from your hip line. Okay, that's where your dart is supposed to stop. So you can see me connecting the lines together. Okay, so the next thing I'll do is just to cut out. Okay, so you see what I'm doing, just cut out. Now for some people, they like adding sewing allowance to their pattern, but I really do not like doing that. I like cutting out my pattern the way it is. Then when I want to add sewing allowance, I'll just add it when I place it on my fabric. All right, so here, so do what works for you. This is how I like doing mine anyways. All right, so now the next thing I'll do, remember this skirt is a dartless skirt. Now what it means is that we are not going to show the darts, like the darts will not show when we sew the skirt. So what you do, just close. You can see me how I close the two of them. Okay, merge the two darts so they are now one. All right, so make them together like this. Use your pin to hold it. When we are cutting out, this is how we are going to place it to cut out, because it's dartless skirt, except you want your darts to show. Okay, so you can see when an alteration will make here, because we close the two darts. You can see here there's a shortage here. Okay, so you just use your marker and blend that place up. Okay, just use your marker and blend it up. So you can imagine if we didn't do this, that means by the time we are just sewing, that place will be shortened. Okay, so just blend it out, blend it up, I mean to say. So and now cut out. So this is dartless skirt. All right, so you can see when you remove your pattern, see what it looks like. You can see that small thing there, it really means a lot. But when you close up and cut out, you can see what happens. All right, so ensure you when you want to cut your dartless skirt, ensure you do it this way. All right, so you can see the pattern. You open it up, you can see I don't really see the essence of having this into two, folding it into two anyways, except maybe you have an alteration to make on the skirt. Okay, so we've done the front, and I'll show you. Assuming you want to place it on your fabric, let's say this is my fabric. Just fold your fabric into two, of course. All right, even if you didn't fold your pattern into two, please ensure you fold your fabric into two before you cut out. So fold your fabric into two. Okay, so and always it's always good to write on your pattern so that you know the center front, center back. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know here I wasn't capturing the up part, but what happened here is that, you know, because it's a dartless skirt, just pin the darts. Okay, so here you can see what I'm doing. Just close up the dart, place it on your fabric, ensure this up part is touching that folded part. Those are the two major places, this up part and the hem part. Don't bother about the accessory we have around the hip side. Okay, so now add your sewing allowance of 2 inches or so. So I finish doing what I want to do. Okay, so remember I said your sewing allowance by the side, it can be 2, it can be 1, can be 1.5, anyhow you want it, but please then you know I see 2 inches. Okay, so and also to re-emphasize that down part and that up part, they should be touching the folded part. You have excess around the hip region that will come out, okay, at that center front, but just ignore it. Add your the sewing allowance at the waist, 1/2 inch, then your hem, your allowance as well. So I've added here and I'm going to cut out. Okay, the next thing I want to show you now is assuming I have a long skirt that is longer than my 30 inches. Okay, remember my pattern is 30 inches long. Okay, so what you just do, you fold your fabric into two, place your pattern. Then what I like doing, I like measuring what I have here. So remember it's 8 inches I have there. Then I also place it at that place I want my skirt to stop. Okay, and connect the lines together. For the back part, okay, so the same thing I did for the front. This is me taking the length of 30 inches. Okay, so now my waist to my hip measurements. Okay, so but before then, since we are drafting the back, you know we'll be having zip allowance at this back, so just mark 1 inch, get a straight line. Okay, so because there's this modification or alteration we do at that zip area, so please you have to pay rapt attention so that you understand what I will do here. Okay, so just mark a straight line 1 inch. Okay, that's our zip allowance. I've written it there. Now this is me taking my waist to my hip measurement of 7 inches. All right, so you mark that as well, get your straight line. Now the next thing I will do, now remember this straight line will mark for the zip. Okay, so from that straight line mark 1 inch. Mark 1 inch. From that 1 inch we take is where we are going to take our waist measurement from. This is me marking the 1 inch. Okay, so please just pay attention, you understand. So I told you from that 1 inch you mark, that's where we take our measurement. So this is me taking quarter of my waist plus my that 1 inch dart. Okay, so now from that line connect it so your waist to hip measurement. You can see what I've done. So now this is my new line. Okay, this is my new line. So we've not finished. There's another modification we'll do at this down part. Also mark 1 inch. The same thing we took at that up part, that's another 1 inch. But for here you have to come down from your hip measurements. Okay, from your waist to hip, come down by 3 inches. Okay, so this gives like a bomb effect. All right, so just come down by 3 inches, then you now connect it down to that 1 inch that we took in. I hope you understand what I mean. So these two lines are my new lines, my new zip allowance. Okay, that's where I'll be taking all my measurement from. So here I'm taking quarter of my hip measurement. Okay, so connect the line. You can see me connecting the line. All right, so the next thing I'll do, remember for our hip, to get the pencil effect we remove 2 inches. So here we have 10 inches, so I'll be using 8. Okay, because I want that pencil effect. So this is me marking the 8 inches. All right, so you now connect the line to your waist to hip measurement. You get what I'm saying? So this is how our skirt, by the time you finish sewing, it will come out perfectly well. It's not everybody that knows this. All right, so now the next thing I'm going to do is I want to take our dart measurement. Okay, so mark your 4 inches. This is 4 inch. Just take it from that straight line, the first straight line. Okay, so it's just for me to have a straight line. So this is 4 inch, 4 inch. Then you mark, connect the two lines together, and you know that your dart, it has to stop 2 inches before your hip measurement. So come up by 2 inches. Okay, so our dart is 1 inch dart that we took. So now you take your half inch, this half inch, this under half inch. You now connect the line, you now connect them together. You can see what I'm doing. So this is so easy, honestly. By the time you finish sewing your skirt, you'll be like, in fact, you see the difference, because all these lines, like that waist place, it removes zip bulge as well, and it will give you that bomb effect. Now because this is a dartless skirt, so we don't want to see that, just close it up. You can see what I'm doing, as if I've already sewn it. Just close it up. You can see what it looks like. Okay, so now remember all my measurements. I'm taking new measurements now from the 1 inch that we took in. You now measure your 1 inch, okay, for your zip allowance. Okay, so because that's our new line now, so from that place and even the down part, measure your 1 inch. Just watch me and see how I'm taking my new zip allowance. Okay, so here the same thing, you start from the 1 inch. Okay, so you can see it. So this now is my new zip allowance. All right, so the next thing, I'll cut out with my fabrics, sorry, with my pattern paper scissors. Okay, so here, just watch me as I cut out. All right, so cut the down parts. Okay, cut out the ones you don't need. All right, so the same thing here, cut off all those ones we don't need, because we'll be adding all our sewing allowance. We'll be adding it on our, when we place it on our fabric. Some people, they add their sewing allowances on their pattern, but me, I prefer adding it. So here, blend here, because we close that place, just blend that place, because most times after closing, if you don't close like this, that place tends to get shortened. So just blend up. Okay, ensure it's a straight line. You can use your ruler, just that, because I've known how to do it. So you now cut out. All right, so by the time you remove your pin, this is what it looks like. Okay, that's if you want your dart to show, but if it's dartless, you have to close it with your pin before placing on your fabric. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Is the two sides. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this tutorial video, and I hope you learned one or two things. All right, so if you are going to try this, let me know in the comment section. All right, so, and tell me the difference if you've not been doing your own this way. All right, so now to place this on my fabric, I just want to show you how I'm going to do it, just like I showed you for the front. All right, so just place it and you cut out, add your allowance, because my fabric is not that much, so I couldn't do it. But nothing special actually, just place it on your fabric and you now cut out. Okay, so okay, I was able to get something. Just add your sewing allowance, add your allowance at the top, 1/2 inch, close your dart. All right, so this is how it's going to be on your fabric. All right, so you can see it's as simple as ABC. So I'm sure you liked it. Please don't forget to like this video, don't forget to share. Okay, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notification bell, that once I upload any new video, you'll be the first to get notified. All right, so here I'm showing you my back and my front. This is the front and this is the back. Okay, so these are the two backs, the two pieces. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Till I come your way next time, keep ruling your world, and see you at the top. Bye bye.